Good morning, children. Today is Wednesday and today we have come to our ELR class. Today we are going to do chapter 6, that is the magic of touchscreens. Now can you all tell me two instances where you all use touchscreens? Yes, one is your mobile phone and the other is a computer. In the computer sometimes we have got touchscreens. Now let me read the chapter for you all. Let me show you all the chapter. Now this is the full chapter here, just see there. This is the full chapter with the meanings. Here are some exercises. Here are the question answers to be done. Okay children? Now getting back here, we will be doing half of the chapter. Okay? So I read it for you all, just follow. In the past decade, mobile phones with touch screens have become an inseparable part of our daily lives. We all know that. We spend a large part of our days glued in these devices. What are those devices? Mobile phones, laptops, etc. And we get addicted to them owing to their immersive touch screens. Why do we get addicted to them? Because they are all touch screen. We just touch it up and we get the total information whatever we want. Touch screen is one of the easiest and most intuitive of all computer interfaces. It allows users to navigate a computer system by touching icons or links on the screen. We can navigate any part, whatever we want by just touching the icons and the links on the screen. Okay, it is like an invisible keyboard attached on the display surface of your device. It is just like a keyboard. You are used to touch the keyboard the same way you all are touching the screen here, and you all are getting the display on the surface of the device, whatever be the device, the mobile phone or the computer. In an ordinary keyboard, each key is an electrical switch. When you push a key down, you complete an electrical circuit and the current flows. This gives specific input to the device. So when you all use the keyboard, what is happening? Each key is an electrical switch. You all know switches which are on the board in your house. So each key in the keyboard is a switch. When you push the key, what happens? You complete an electric circuit. You are switching on an electric circuit and then the current is flowing. And this gives a specific input, a specific work to the computer, to the device. Okay, and then it is being done. Touchscreens have to achieve something similar but on a transparent surface so that your view of the device does not get blocked. So touchscreens have to achieve something which is very similar. When you touch it, it's very similar. But on a transparent surface. It should be transparent to us so that we can view the device, your view of the device does not get, we can view the device properly. Okay. It sounds quite simple, but it took engineers almost half a century to perfect this idea, to bring out this idea. It was only in 2007 when Apple launched its iPhone that touchscreens became a mass-consumed technology. So who first brought it up? It was 2007, the year 2007, when Apple first launched its iPhone with the touchscreen technology. Okay. Surprisingly, the first touchscreen device was capacitive. It is the same technology used in modern phones now and not the resistive technology of the 1980s and 1990s. The 1980s and 1990s, the devices were very different. The device had a radar screen used by the British Royal Radar Establishment for air traffic control. It was invented by E.A. Johnson in the 1960s. Okay. The touchscreen was bulky, slow, expensive and not very accurate. The touchscreen in those days was very bulky. Bulky means very big and heavy. Slow also, very expensive also and not very accurate also. However, it remained in use until 1990s. So, until 1990s it was in use, but then people saw that there are many problems regarding the screen. The technology used mono-touch capacitive screen, which involves using a sheet on a conductive transparent material. So the technology, what did it use? It used a mono-touch capacitive screen. Mono-touch means one touch, single touch, which involved using a sheet. A sheet was there of a conductive transparent material, okay, that could conduct it, okay, and a small amount of current is flown through it. A very small amount of current used to flow through it. It creates a static field, and the current at each of the four corners is measured. There was a static field there, and current used to flow from all the four corners only, okay, and it was measured also. When an object like a finger touches the screen, the gap between it and the charged plate forms the capacitor. Okay, when people used to touch it, what used to happen? The gap between the place where you are touched and the charged plate forms a capacitor. It measures it up. Okay, by measuring the change in the capacitance at each corner of the plate, it can be figured out. It can be figured out where the touch event is occurring. By looking at the difference, the capacity, by measuring the difference, it could be just assumed where is the touch event occurring. Okay, so this was the process in those days, and reported back to the central computer. Then this message was reported back to the central computer. This kind of capacitive touch screen works but isn't very accurate because it is measured by the corners, so it is not very accurate always and cannot take into account more than one touch at a time. So it cannot take more than one touch at a time. Like our monitors, our laptops, we are using, like our mobile phones, we are so many of us are using at a time, isn't it? But in those days, only one touch could be measured. The next major event in touchscreen technology was the invention of the resistive touchscreen in 1977. So next came the resistive touchscreen. The innovation was made possible by a company called Innographics Resistive Touchscreens, working by using two sheets of flexible transparent material. Now there were two sheets. At first we read in the 1960s there was only one sheet. Now in 1977 there came two sheets. Okay, two sheets of flexible transparent material. Conductive lines etched onto both. There were conductive lines attached to both the sheets, okay, in opposing directions, two in opposite directions. Resistive screens have a very high accuracy. Resistive screens had very high accuracy power, okay, and aren't impacted by dust or water. There was no impact, there was no difference of dust and water on it. However, using this technology is very cumbersome. Cumbersome means very problematic. The screens need significantly more pressure than capacitive and cannot register multiple touch events. Again, this screen also could not register multiple touch events. This screen did prove to be cheap enough to be useful and was used for various fixed terminal applications. So it was low expensive, not that expensive like the 1960 ones, but the thing is that it could measure only one touch. This technology did prove to be cheap enough but to be useful and was used for various fixed terminal applications. Fixed terminal applications including industrial machine controllers. Some machines were there which were controlled with the help of hands, ATM counters which we are using now, and checkout devices. Some checkout devices were there which were used for the touch screen. Okay. In the 1970s, a number of different touch capable machines were introduced. In 1970s, many other machines were introduced. which were using touch screens. One of the most widely used touch capable device at the time was the University of Illinois Plato 4 terminal. Okay, this was a terminal which was totally based on touch technology. One of the first generalized computer assisted instruction systems. This was the first generalized computer assisted instruction system. Nowadays we have got many instruction systems, okay, but in those days only one computer assisted instruction system was the Plato 4 terminal. The unique feature of Plato 4 was that instead of capacitive or resistive touch, it used an infrared system, okay, now which is used in mobile phones. Infrared system. It was also the first touchscreen computer to be used in a classroom. That was the first touchscreen computer to be used in a classroom, that allowed students to touch the screen to answer questions. Nowadays, how you all answer questions, you all just touch the screens in the computer, okay, those who are having online classes. So what used to happen in those days, only the Plato 4 terminal had a screen which had multiple touches to be allowed, and that was the only computer which was used in a classroom, and that allowed students to touch the screen and answer questions. Infrared touchscreens are based on light beam interruption technology. Instead of an overlay on the surface, a frame surrounds the display. Okay, there is a frame which is surrounding the display. The frame has light sources in it, or light emitting diodes, that is LEDs. The monitors which are being used now are LED monitors. On one side, the light detectors, on the opposite side, creating an optical grid across the screen. When an object touches the screen, the invisible light beam is interrupted. The light beam which is coming through from one side to the other is interrupted, causing a drop in the signal received. It causes a drop in the signal and receives it by the photosensors. A major benefit of such a system was that it could detect essentially any input, including a finger, a stylus, or a pen. Okay, infrared technology was generally used in outdoor applications. And point out sale systems. Nowadays in the shopping malls you all find systems which are using touchscreens. So it was an infrared touchscreen system which cannot rely on the conductor, such as a bare finger. There you all will see pens are used, okay, to activate the touchscreen. However, this technology was too expensive and had very low touch resolution for it to become suitable for mass consumption. So this much for today, children. We will be doing the next two parts from multi-touch technology. The next 2-3 pages we will be doing the next day. Okay, and you all are going to write down the meanings from here, and I am sending you all some questions which you all will be writing down. Okay, thank you, children.